Hello, my name is Michelle Porter. I'm a writer here in Newfoundland and Labrador. I'm going to be reading some poetry from my most recent mixed genre book, Approaching Fire, as well as from my first book of poetry, Inquiries. I'm going to begin with the poetry that opens chapter 1 of Approaching Fire. Just now, it strikes me how easy a thing it is to misplace a man. A woman, of course, was never difficult to misplace. Women are misplaced all the time, and other than 1 or 2 or 3 lists of exceptions, they aren't much missed by the world. The gaps where women have been filled with something else, the shadows they leave behind, swept into dark corners, basements, places few want to look anyway. But a man, how is he misplaced? I've been looking for my great-grandfather, Métis fiddler and performer Léon Robert Goulet. He's not a worn nub of a pencil I stopped using. I didn't leave him in a drawer one day, forgotten after clearing my desk in a hurry because the children were tumbling through the door with their friends. It's not as though I stashed him in the back of a cupboard for safekeeping, or for the day my schedule would clear up and incessant chatter took itself out for a bit, left the house. I never had Bob Goulet in the first place, except in stories. Must be late 1950s when the relations, they all call. Aunt Lillian is asked to come to the house in Mission, BC. She comes all the way from Winnipeg, Manitoba, all the way from the Red River, their Métis homeland. She's there to help with the 7 children. Next poem I will read is also from Approaching Fire. This one is about fiddling. It takes time for a young fiddler to learn to live in the songs, growling old. The fingers have to fly ahead of all the families, strings calling the way to the grass trails that will sustain the next generation. Man, drop a note here, add a phrase, crooked as you like, grumbling old. It's a dance, this heel toe between what the elders give and the rush of spring, the imperative to make it all new over again. Woman, hold to the form told in the song's name, but keep on moving. Don't repeat it back the same way. Don't steal, make it your own. Growling, grumbling. The good ones, old timers, leap between seasons, playing ahead and playing back, keeping good relations between the strings and the bow. Old man, old woman, growling old man, grumbling old woman. Next reading is from Inquiries. I'll read two poems from this book. I'm going to read an introduction to my mama. This next poem is an introduction to my mama. It's called In the City Alberta. Mama dreamed the bush into every city we moved to because Mama could. The mayors believed Mama disinherited them. That's why they said those things. Mama converted exhaust's erotic obsession into a shaded nest of nightjars with the twisting sort of flight everyone remembered they'd been looking for all along. A sort of aching that bankrupted their family picnics and canceled their checks. The poor children, they said of us, and they told their descendants not to let us eat cake or potato chips at their parties. Because Mama had something, everyone could see it. Because Mama dreamed the bush into all the cities we walked. The next poem I'm going to read has to do with my mother as well, focuses a bit on my mother, but we're going to the North Saskatchewan River, 1980s. They waited for the roads to arrive and couldn't say where the tributaries converged. Mama had to figure out how to merge with transport trucks. They didn't know they could take their uncle's canoe to the banks and paddle the silver current all the way to their homelands, the traveling sun licking their edible backs. So Mom held her breath on Highway 216 and exited from Yellowhead East onto St. Albert Trail northwest. And finally, they were almost at their auntie's townhouse, almost running on her earth with their cousins, the 7 boys growing at the bend in the road. Thank you very much.